Hello everybody, welcome to Savage Ink Studios. I'm your host Ink, and today we're going to be doing something new. I would like to introduce a new segment called Ink Weekly, where I basically just tell you the crazy stuff that's been going on this week in my life. Because, yeah. So, let's hop right into it. Alright, so, let's start off with some crazy customers, because who doesn't love hearing about crazy customers? So, the first crazy customer would have been like almost a whole week ago. Where, alright, at my store where I work, I am one of 4 managers and one of only 2 full-time managers. And our corporate office only allows us to have 2 people in the store at any given point in time, despite the fact that we are a rather large store. So we have 1 cashier and 1 manager on at any point during the day. The cashier's job is to cash people out, and the manager's job is to put out freight. And that is basically the guidelines we were supposed to follow throughout the whole day. So I had a cashier not show up for work, so I was stuck opening the store by myself. And I had a huge line of people because it was a weekend and it was early, and weekend mornings are like the busiest time of the week for us. So I had a line of like 30 people, and the phone's ringing, and the phone's hung up right next to my register. So I pick it up, and a lady says, "Hey, can you check and see if you have table runners and how many and in what color?" And I told her, I'm like, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm the only person here right now. I have a really long line. I'm not going to be able to go and check for you." And her immediate response, with no pause at all, was, "Oh, all right, then I'll just call corporate and tell them how unhelpful you were." And at this point, I'm so pissed off and stressed out already at how busy it is and the fact that I'm stuck by myself. Normally, where I would have, like, kept it toned down, I was not toned down, and I'm just like, "Oh, that's fine. Corporate doesn't allow us to phone shop for people anyway, so I could really use the pat on the back. Go ahead. Have a nice day." And hung up. So, yeah, that was my first, where I'm just like, my dude, if you call a store to ask if they have something, and the person tells you, "I'm literally the only person here, and I have a really long line of people. I'm sorry, I cannot leave my register to go look for you," your first response is to be a dickhead and be like, "Oh, fine, I'll call corporate and tell them how unhelpful you were." Like, suck a dick, lady. Suck a dick. Alright, so, second crazy customer, more or less kind of sort of the same thing, in the fact that people are just, you know. Any of you who work customer service probably know exactly what I'm going on about. Alright, so, another day, later on in the week, I had my cashier up front, and I'm throughout the store doing, putting stuff up on the shelves, trying to clean up after people, whatever, and I get a ding over the loudspeaker, which means, "Come up front, I need help." So I go up, and I'm a little confused because there's only 2 people in line, and my cashier is off to the side blowing up balloons for someone. She had like 3 of them and was blowing up the last one. And I'm like, is there a problem? Are we like out of helium or something? And my cashier turns around and looks at me and goes, "No, just that this lady in the line didn't want to wait." And I look at this woman who has 5 items and this like pure Karen look on her face. Like, I'm not kidding. The Karen haircut, where it's like sort of shaved in the back, but it's a bob cut, but it's like clean, and oh my god. And I'm just like, wait, really? Like, you're on your last balloon and she doesn't want, okay. So I turn on the light for my register and I say, "I can help you over here." My register is literally 4 feet from my cashier's register. And this lady looks furious. She grabs up all of her stuff, walks over, slams it on my belt, and says, "Since when was customer service not a thing anymore?" And I kind of just look at her and I'm like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know what you mean," hoping that she would like have to explain herself, and that maybe if she had to explain why she was upset and she could hear herself saying it, she'd understand that she was being a total dickhead. But her response instead was, "No, clearly you don't." Like, lady, it takes 2 minutes. If you're in such a rush, go somewhere else. you know? Like, mind boggled. So I cash her out, and the lady behind her is like, thank you for opening up. You totally didn't have to do that. That lady was, holy crap, somebody didn't take their happy pills this morning. Wow, I can't believe people are actually like that. And I'm like, I appreciate that because it is mind boggling. Yeah. So yeah, those are my crazy customer stories for the last week, and I'm not going to get into like the rest of work stories. Only I will say that my schedule's been super wonky this week, which is why I haven't gotten a video up until now. I know I usually post every 2 or 3 days, but I've been working for the last 3 or 4 days. Some of those shifts are my 13-hour, 8:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night shifts. I've just been super crazy busy, and I've been making like an active effort to like spend more time with my family, because after my dad passed away a couple years ago, I kind of just like retreated into the background of my own life and stopped socializing as much as I should, even with my own family. And, you know, I don't want to be that person. I've always had like a really, really tight bond with my mom's kids. And, you know, me and my mom used to be a lot closer, despite the fact that she like does some dumb things that make me mad. And I want to get back into like my life, you know? So that might mean that I'm uploading a little bit less. I'm going to try and make room for everything in my life, but I want to be better. I know that I've had some issues with like withdrawing, and I want to get back to, you know, I'm never going to be the person that I was before my dad died, but I want to get back to a place where I'm living my own life again. You know, I want to spend more time with my pets. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to try to keep up on the art and the YouTube and my relationship and all that jazz. You know, I want to get back to having a more well-rounded life instead of hiding in my bedroom all of the time. Even had a couple of people who used to come into my old job, run into me at this job, and they're like, hey, you should come to our barbecue thing. And I'm sweating a little bit like, yeah, sure, okay, I'm gonna try, and I will. My DJ friend still sends me invites to karaoke every single week, even though I haven't been in like 2 years. Who knows? I don't really see myself going back out and doing that again, but you never know. I'm just trying to get myself back out there. So I guess the only other real big like point of my week was, you know, kind of what spurred this feeling of like I really got to get back, you know, to being almost human again, you know, was the other night. You know, I have bipolar disorder, so I go through really high highs and really low lows. And when I'm going through my really low lows, you know, I get kind of weepy and I miss everybody in my life more than usual. So I was going through a low low, and I texted my mom and I texted my sister just saying, you know, I love you guys. And not 2 seconds after I texted my mom that, she calls me and she goes, what's wrong? I'm like, what? And she's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? Are you going to hurt yourself? Like, do I have to be worried? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I just texted you that I love you. She's like, yeah, you haven't done that in so long. I just want to make sure that you're not going to do anything stupid. And I'm just like, Mom, I'm just saying I love you. I'm not going to like go try and drown myself or something. Come on. But her saying that made me realize like, holy crap, how long it's been and how much I've like withheld affection from my family since my dad passed away, where I really just, I'm not the same person that I was, you know. My mom's side of the family, we grew up all kinds of like touchy-feely, huggy, whatever. And I already went through like a really long period where I didn't want anyone touching me. And then I got back to the point where I could kind of like handle regular hugs again. And then my dad died and I just like curled back up into myself. And I have not shown my family that I love them in the way that I should. And I feel like an asshole. So, you know, my mom and I ended up talking on the phone for a while and, you know, talking about my dad and, my relationship and how, there are a lot of things that I probably should work on, and how I'm not going to feel better unless, I actively look for change, because you know what they say in AA, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and change and be a person who has feelings and can show my feelings, and someone involved in the lives of the people that I care about. I guess other than that, we tried doing the Easter thing, so that was interesting. Food and Easter egg hunting for the little people, which was interesting since they've never done that before. Good times, good times. And yeah, I guess the only other thing of note was out of the blue last week, I had texted my mom something, about, how are you? Feeling kind of sad. And then 2 seconds later, my phone rings. But it wasn't my mom, it was my sister. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pick up, and it is my nephew, who is 4 years old. And he said, Auntie Ink, I called you to make you happy. Are you happy now? And I'm just like, oh, this kid's spooky, man. I'm telling you, this kid's spooky. I literally just texted my mom. I'm feeling really down and sad. And 2 seconds later, this kid, who was not with her, calls me from his mom's phone at 4 years old to say, I called so you wouldn't be sad. I called to make you happy. Are you happy now? And I'm just like, holy crap. Little creepy psychic bastard there. I love him with all my heart, but holy crap, that freaked me out. Totally did. So, if you guys are interested in hearing more Ink Weekly, let me know. It definitely is easier sometimes to just sit down and talk about my week than to dig up stories out of my past when I'm not feeling like going there. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please do let me know in the comments if you want to hear more of these. Maybe once a week I'll do an Ink Weekly where I just, talk about the events of my week. And, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, you know where to put them. And I will see you guys in the next one.